What's up there, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Derail Valley. So in the last episode we arrived back here in Harbour. We are currently conducting a realistic difficulty playthrough and I've been having a great time. We unlocked the S282 which we drove and dropped off a number of jobs. So here we are back at Harbour and I do want to pick up the DH4 today and take it back to the museum. This will be our first attempt at a restoration. So let's get started. Please do grab yourself a drink. Let's hit the rails. Right then, guys, first things first, let's get ourselves into the station office and take a look at unlocking the licenses that we're going to need. So, we're going to need to clear our fees. I was half tempted to go over to the manual servicing area and do it over there, but there's a number of fees that we're going to have to clear from previous jobs, so we did hire a number of locomotives and they've actually all come up on here now. And yeah, I mean, the thing is of course, we could go over to the manual servicing area, manually service the loco, the S282, the tender and the slug, but then we'd still have to come over here and pay some of these off. So I just thought, let's just do it on this machine here. And let's just see what's happening. So we're going to work our way through these to start off with. And once we've paid these off, we can then unlock licenses. Now, having a look at the top one. That one looks like a car. And some car damage. So it says regular wear and tear, cargo damage. And it's only 0.6%. It is a bit of a cost there. But it's one single tram by the looks of it. Took a bit of damage. I don't remember that happening. We will get this cleared off though. So wallet into the machine. Let's have a look. I think this and quite a lot of these will be the DE2s. So I think we'll have maybe 4 DE2s here because if you remember, just to recap slightly, we were running the slug and initially we ran the slug with I was wondering why that jumped to the bottom there. It's because I've now got it in my hand, but why did it jump to the bottom? That's odd. Weird. Anyway, so we ran the slug with 2 DE2s initially. That was quite an interesting little experiment. And then we ran the slug with 4 DE2s. So yeah, we've got some DE2s to clear because we did manually service them back at Machine Factory in town, but we also utilised those D2s for a bit of shunting just to get the jobs loaded up. So let's get these cleared off. Actually, I need to click the button. Right. So that leaves... So we've done 3 D2s, but there's one that's got a larger cost here. So I want to take a look at that to see what it is. This is the tender, I believe, of the 282. So S282... 730B. So that is the tender unit and basically that's just wear and tear. So wheels, etc, etc. Coal and water. Now, we recently did a bit of refueling of types when we actually came in here. So I'm surprised to see that so high. But anyway, I guess we have ran it round. This one is another DE2 and just taking a look. So some service in there to the wheels. Mechanical powertrain. Those are the 2 highest there. And then some diesel and oil. I do wonder if we did a bit of a bump there with that one. Whether that's maybe one of the ones that struck the tram unit or something like that. Anyway, we'll get this cleared off. Working our way through these. Finally, we've got the 282. And actually, you know what? I think what happened when we serviced the tender unit there, it's actually stopped this from increasing. So this was obviously going up there. I don't know whether you were watching that, guys, but I did want to mention it, but it's stopped now. I think it's because we've serviced the tender and therefore replenished the water and the coal. And then I think that the locos stopped running. There's a few things. One thing here that I want to say is sand. I don't remember using this. And that does look a bit weird, actually, to me. We'll take a look at the handle on the sand just to see if it's something that we've actually used or not. But anyway, for now, let's just get this cleared off. It's 8,000, which is quite a lot. We'll be looking to pay half of that if we were to manually service, but let's get it cleared. So that's all done. Right, license-wise, we do want the DH4, and these are all the licenses that we've currently unlocked. So we've owned all of those. We own all of those. And you can see loco-wise, we've got the DH4 and the D6. Those are the last two to unlock. And surprisingly, I've kind of left, or maybe not so surprisingly, I've left the two easiest, most powerful, I would say, locos to the end. Just because I wanted to utilise the other locos. And we probably still will, to be honest with you, utilise the other locos. But at least we've got the DH4 unlocked now. This was the first loco, the first demonstrator model that we found. And that's the first one that I want to take to the museum. So, get that in there. So as you can see now, we've got the museum unlocked as well. Right. So it's saying in the top left-hand corner, vehicle restoration, museum license acquired. Now let's get to business of finding and restoring those vehicles. So far we found the DH4. It's here at the harbour. That's the very first one that we found. It's over by the shop. We'll go over there in just a second anyway. I don't want to go over there just yet with this tiny little zip forward, this tiny little teleport that we've got. So we've got the DH4 here. We also found the DE2, a coal power plant. We found the DE6 at coal power plant. We found the DE2, that was up at Iron Ore Mine West. And we found the SO60, that was at City West. So, we're going to make tracks to get over to where the DH4 is. Just going to make sure everything's good here. Well, that isn't. Wonder why that wasn't tight. Let's just check to see if that's right. So I must have never tightened that up. And that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to go like nice and taut like that. Right, let's hop up here. So as you can see now, everything is fully serviced, and if we could see it on there's an F4 sort of overview that you can get on standard difficulty, we would see that we've got a full selection of fuel, but we can see there water's full, coal is full. So let's hop down. So we've still got boiler pressure, which is interesting because we have fully serviced her. I'm going to open that to start us off with, because once we actually get this fire going, she's going to need to have that open because we're stood still just at the moment. We're going to get that water out of the cylinder cocks. So let's throw that in. I do wonder if she needs oiling. Let's get that fire going. I'll leave that like that a sec. I'm going to open the blower just to bring that pressure up even higher than what it is now. And let's just hop down and see if she needs a bit of oil here. She may well just need the attention here. Because she's had the service. We might as well throw a bit of grease in here as well. And see her get... make sure she's nicely slick there, just to make sure everything's nice. How about this? Well, that lubricator is pretty well stocked. We'll just give it a further twist there, just to bring that level up. And we'll stick some more grease in here. It's not really needed, to be fair. There's plenty in there already, but we'll just bring it up to the max. Right, that'll do. Right, that fire should be coming up nicely. So let's hop up and see what's happening now. Right, that fire's looking good. We'll stick a bit more coal in. And we'll close that. Damper should be fully open. Yes, it is. Cylinder cocks are good. What else do we need to do? Well, as soon as she's been serviced, everything's been reset. Well, most things anyway. As you said, still got a bit of pressure. But these have all been switched off. So there's the dynamo. So that's going to give us a bit of electricity there. And then we need some... we need the compressor open. Well, that hasn't done anything. But the brake lines are probably still pressurised. I've still got that light on there. I might switch that off, actually. But, yeah, the brake line is still pressurized. So, switch that off. Yeah, switch that off. Oh, it's still on by the looks of things, is it? That might not even be... Oh no, there we go. It was just the way the light was catching it. Right, let's get her moving forward a bit. Make sure everything's alright. We'll roll that on. Make sure the brakes are off. We'll open that and we'll take the parking brake off, and then we'll just engage a little bit of the a little bit of a forward motion going on. Right, we'll close those cylinder cocks now. Fire's blazing. Close that blower like that, so that's all good. Let's keep it going forward a bit. Okay, we're going to pull her onto the main line because we know that the DH4 is down there, so I am going to reverse up. Basically, yeah, in this episode we will just be running to City South. That's the general gist of what we'll be doing. Throw that because we want to be out that way once we actually come back. For now I'm just going to get a reversed up there. I'm just making sure the brakes are working nicely as well, which they do seem to be, so that's good. We'll take a look at the gauges in a sec. So switches wise, let's have a look. So we're going back to the A yard page. Whoops, gone one too far. So we are currently just here. So this switch needs throwing, and then we're straight into E. And as far as E goes, once we actually come in here, which I think we'll be coming in from this direction, if I've got my bearings right. In fact, we can see that there in the distance. I want all of those switches thrown that way because this is exactly where we're going to be re-railing the DH4. So let's reverse up. Just get that reverser switched like that. Just doing that on the keyboard. Get the brake release. We'll open the regulator and get it reversed. So what I'm thinking about doing here is we've utilised the 282 quite a bit in the last couple of episodes, and I do want to do more work with the 282, but what I'd like to do is go and have a look in the sheds and see if there's a DH4 that could take the Slug and the other our new DH4, our own DH4, back to City South. Now, there's a couple of reasons for that. I love driving the 282, by all means, absolutely love it. But there is one issue, and I'm just thinking ahead, that when we get to City South, first things first, we're facing the direction that we'll be driving into the museum. Once we drive into the museum, there is a huge turntable that we can utilise to turn round. The only problem with that is that turntable isn't big enough, I don't think anyway, for a 282 tender, the Slug and the DH4. Now we could split it up when we get there, but it's just going to be more work. So I think, wouldn't it be awesome if we can go over to the shed now and see if we can see if there's a DH4 over there. So a quick dash. Hope the water level's alright on the 282 in the meantime, because we've literally just sort of run off and just ran and left her. So wouldn't it be cool if there's a DH4 there, which I think when we came in there was one, that we can utilise for this next sort of chapter in getting our own DH4 back to City South. I think that would be pretty cool. I realise we've abandoned the 282 there without any sort of regard really for Is there enough water? But we've only just pulled her out, so she shouldn't be off. And yes, I was just guessing there. But yeah, I remembered seeing the DH4 when we came in. So let's hop up. Now, this is the first time for this playthrough. We'll be driving her. And I'm just trying to remember where everything is. What we need is this, don't we? We need these switches on, being the starter and the electrics. And then we can press this wonderful little button and get it started. We've got front lights, rear lights, and cab lights. And we've got this cut out, which we'll de-isolate. And then we'll put her into forward. And lastly, just release the parking brake. Compare the remote as well. Hope that we've got enough brake pressure to bring it to a stop over here. But yeah, I think and I'm guessing again, but a DH4 along with a slug and another DH4 should fit onto the turntable at the museum. And I'm hoping that's the case. Oh man, it's so great to drive the DH4 though, even though this one is a bit of a messy one, isn't it, inside? She's rough. Oh, there's a cat running across the rails there. There it is. So the cats are just... they don't interact with you at all, which is... I hope it's something to change in the future in some way. Right, back we go. So, we are going backwards, and I do wonder why those lights haven't switched. Do we have to do this manually? Unlike the DE2 where it does it for you. Can't remember. It's been such a while since I've driven the DH4. Right, we'll throw that switch. Let's get ourselves down here and hope that we're in good time. I always worry about turning my back on a steam loco. You're just never really sure what you're coming back to. Right, I'll just stop her here, nicely out the way. We'll shut her down. And let her come to her own stop while we're going. Get ourselves back over here, because we're gonna need to move the 282 out the way. And then we'll shut her down, and then we'll get cracking. So, it's a bit of a bitty thing, but I just wanted to make sure the DH4 was there. Make sure my memory served me correctly. So she's blowing off pressure at the moment. Let's have a look at the water level. Water level's fine, we'll put a bit more in. Right, let's disconnect. Stick this parking brake on. Make sure that slug doesn't go anywhere. And let's disconnect here. Right, we'll pull the 282 onto a free line. We'll leave that call. Close that. So where do we want to put her? Well, we put her in the passenger lane, or we can just put her into any. Oh, that was the cylinder cocks. That was the cylinders blowing. Let's just put her anywhere. She's blown now, so we're going to have to pay for that. That's going to cost us... we could take her for a manual service, to be fair. But we've got... Look, this is why we've got plenty of money. It's kind of one of those things, he says. And thankfully we've got money to cover this type of situation. So I think that's the seals on the cylinder that have gone there, which I don't know like what impact it has on driving as such. Maybe somebody can tell me in the comment section, but you can hear she's blowing steam out. I wonder whether that's kind of what happens. She doesn't sound too good, and she doesn't appear to be in great you know, she doesn't appear to be in great shape. She doesn't sound good, she doesn't feel good, and I would say that is kind of a loss of power, loss of steam somewhere. Okay, so in shutting her down, I'm just going to stick the parking brake on. I'm going to dump the fire to make sure we've blown the seals. Let's not blow the boiler as well. We'll dump the fire, get the heat out of there. Right, so that's out. The other things we can do is put more water in the boiler, which will kill off this pressure. Cut that out. Could open that. I mean, we're going to have to pay anyway, so let's just leave her. We'll get the bill at the next station. See that pressure coming down. There's plenty of water in there, so she's not going to blow up. So we can just leave her like that, I think. Right, let's get our DH4 re-railed. So, going to the radio, we're going to re-rail. We're going to click on here, pointer at here, try and pick the cheapest one. So it looks like that 1404 to re-rail, and we'll point her in this direction. And there we go. So we found and re-railed, and our next step is to tow home. I'm going to switch this to switch option. So we've got the DH4, we've got a slug that we're going to back into, and then we're going to grab the other DH4 as well. So we're taking the slug with us because, well, ultimately we want to utilise the slug with a DE6, but ideally we'd like that. I'd like that that DE6 to be our own. So we will be certainly restoring the DE6. In fact, if I remember rightly, I think the DE6 was the second loco that we found. Could be wrong. Alright, so bit of time spent there. Let's get reversed up. It just shows the importance of opening those cylinder cocks though when you're stopped in a steam loco. Sometimes you can get this, you know, sense of maybe it's not so important because you open them and then you get like loads of steam hissing out and there's no water in there, but they blew pretty easy there and it wasn't even stood for that long. So yeah, so the slug, unfortunately, not compatible with the DH4, as it requires the electricity from the diesel electric engines, the DE2 or the DE6. So we're just going to be pulling her along for the ride, basically. Alright, that'll do nicely. Alright, let's get that released. Alright, we'll hop up here. As you see, this is completely wrecked in here, but we will release that parking brake and just ensure she's in neutral. Brakes are off. The question that I want to ask is, do we have the key for... It looks like we do have the key for the garage at City South. I'm glad we've got that. Couldn't remember. And the other thing is getting out of here. Are our switches set to take us to City South? Well, going forward here, you see that we feed round and then up and out. Once we're heading out of here, we're going to be taking a left and then heading towards City South. So it's quite a straightforward process really to get us there. Once we get to City South, we'll be coming in from this end. We're going to go right, and then right into the museum. So this should be fun. We can operate the front loco remotely from back here if we wish, and ride in our wreck. Okay, she's doing a grand job of pulling. You can hear this baby is well and truly wrecked. You say goodbye to our broken down 282. See how much that's going to cost us to repair. There's always this hole you can fall into as well in a DH4. Alright, we can hear that noise. I don't think I can stand that noise for the whole journey, so let's get ourselves to the front. See, those lights have switched now. Must be the remote control that switches the lights. So we are going just less than 30 here. Alright, so we'll say bye to Harbour for now. Yeah, so 2 locos left to find in terms of the demonstration models. We've got the DM3 and the 282. Now, there's a number of stations that we haven't visited yet, so it'll be interesting to see where they crop up. But yeah, let's hope we do come across. I'll tell you what would be absolutely mind-boggling or mind-blowing. I don't know whether... So if you, for the folks that have watched my standard difficulty playthrough, you'll know that at the end of that playthrough, I drove the S282 into the canyon, into the mining area at Iron Ore Mine East. Wouldn't it be mental, like, in a good way? Wouldn't it be just absolutely absurd if the 282 was there? in this playthrough. I don't know, that would be poetic, I think. Anyway, up the hill we go. Let's open her up. So we've got a bit of a climb out of here. 40 limit. See the oil temp coming up. This is typical of the DH4. As soon as you bring the revs up, she starts to get a bit upset. Just ease off a tiny bit. She's coming up beautifully though. Really, this setup is no sweat whatsoever for the DH4. I can see her getting up to speed as well once we get past here. So we are currently just coming up to this switch, and then we've got some decent straights, which we will get her up to speed. Got a 40 limit here, we're only going 30, so absolutely no problem at all. We're leveling off as well now, so no longer climbing uphill. Start to really let her have the throttle, see what sort of speed we can get up to. Say bye-bye to harbour for now. See there, she's having a little complaint about the temp. Starting to accelerate. Actually on full throttle here. Quite loud actually. She's coming into the red, so I'm just going to back her off. We are up to 60, so it's not that temperature come down. Let her cruise now. Just kick the throttle off. Got a 60 limit here. Going slightly faster than that. I'll just bring the speed down a tiny bit. I forget we're back to self-lapping brakes. No need to sort of set the pressure and then hold it. You just literally increase or decrease the amount of brakes you want on. A bit more on here. And I don't know, is that City South already? Seems like we got here really quick. No, don't think it is. I think there's another tunnel yet. Yeah, I think we're about here. So we've got another couple of turns. 70 limit here. I'm really interested to see what the damage cost is on the 282. Just trying to see where City South is. It's got to come round here. There is a tunnel, and then you kind of go through that and then you come out. Seems like there's a bit of a drive ahead yet. Nice visibility on the DH4 though, compared with the other locos that we've driven. I mean, I said the DM3's got nice visibility, especially when you're going backwards. Obviously the 282 is pretty poor. But then again, so's the DE6. Visibility's fairly poor. I think the 06O has pretty good visibility, generally speaking, but I mean, the best is the DE2. Is your starting loco all around? It does everything that you could need. I know it doesn't have a great deal of power, but as soon as you get that multiple unit license unlocked, and you can start to, you know, join them up, get them to double up, it's fantastic. Right, we're just above 40 here, coming round. With a 50 limit as we come into museum area, and we're going to get this set hopefully into the museum without any delay. I do hope everything fits onto the turntable, like I said. Be very interesting to see what it'll be like, and I can absolutely guarantee that the 282, a DH4 and a slug would not have fit. Right, we're feeding round straight into the museum here. Be interesting to see what jobs they are here as well, because obviously we will come out of here. And we do have the key for that garage, I believe. A couple of car transporters here. Different things. Here we go anyway, guys. Better put a bit of brakes on. We're going about 35. We're going to swing round tightly here. It's also a nighttime, well, evening time at least. Yeah, definitely be not doing a great deal further on this night. And thinking about getting to sleep pretty soon. Right, let's hop down while she's rolling in. Okay, the turntable is not set. Get some brake on. Are the lights on? No. Right, we'll throw this switch. Get some lights on to start us off. And the turntable is here. What else do we have here that's of note if you've not seen this place before? Well, we've got the museum office where we can order parts. We've got a shed here as well, which we've got some stuff in at the moment. Somebody suggested a toolbox, actually, I've just remembered. We've got various lanes for parking our locomotives. And these basically, yeah, have a slot for each. So the DH4 is going in this one here. So it does say there it's ticked that we have found and re-railed it. We're going to tow it home. Once we get it in here, that will be ticked. And then we can order missing parts and then bring the missing parts. Now, bringing the missing parts requires either this trailer or the rail car, which is in that shed that I was looking at. That shed over there, or is it? Right, it's over there actually. It's just where the DE2 is. So, yeah, we can do that. What else do we have? Never tried moving this. I've no idea what these bogies do, if you can actually push them around or anything. We've got a paint gun here, which is obviously for repainting, and then we've got a servicing lane here for manual servicing, including all diesel fuel and electric recharging point as well. We've got a watering point for steam and a coal refueling point as well. So everything you'd need is here, really. So, without further ado, let's rotate this turntable. Right, now, I think this turntable should be long enough, like I've said. So, let's release the brakes and pull this baby forward. Here she comes. I do wonder, now I know I've been round the other side of the museum before and had a look to see what's behind there, and there's nothing, but I do wonder if there's going to be some future purpose for that at some point. Anyway, here we go. Here she comes. So, that's us on the turntable at this end. Now, that is just on. And I am very pleased with that. Very pleased. We're going to rotate all the way around and bring it in here. Yeah, that is a perfect fit. You can see this is right at the very end here. Move back a bit. Okay. That's not the right lane though. It's this one. There we go. Right, so it doesn't recognise us as having towed her home yet. So let's push her back. See if that helps. Okay, there we go. Now it does. Alright, we'll put it there for now. What else are we going to do? Well, we're going to disconnect her. I'm going to put the parking brake on, sorry. Let's hop up here. Parking brake on. We'll disconnect here by releasing the brakes first. Like so. I'm going to park the slug up as well. Now, which lane do we want the slug in? Well, we could stick it in any of these, to be fair, or over here. So that's where the DE2 goes. Maybe let's just stick it here. Alright. So during my standard difficulty playthrough, I remember faffing around for ages with the under-train lights and all that type of stuff. I don't think I'm going to make such a big deal out of it on this go. If anything, I'll just make it much more simple if I do go that route. So there we go, guys. I mean, I'm going to just get this DH4 into a position where she's ready to be pulled out, because we're going to... What was going on there? We're going to most likely be utilising this DH4 for a bit. Maybe. I guess we've just unlocked it, haven't we? So... yeah, we'll just line her up like that, I think, to finish things off. It may be that we grab that cart and maybe go and collect some parts for her next, because our next step is to order the missing parts and then to bring them back and then install them. That all costs money. So far we've still got 427,000, so let's preserve our money by shutting her down like that. Now, the last thing that I want to do is to go over here and just to see how much that little mishap with the 282 is going to cost us. You can also just take a look and see what jobs are going out of here as well. See if there's anything, especially headed to Machine Factory, that we can pick up. So let's have a look. So fees. So that's 282B. So that's the tender, right? And then we've got 282A. So it's not too bad actually. So the mechanical powertrain. Well, actually, when I said it's not too bad for us because we've got tons of money. But it's like, if you think about it, we barely used the 282, and obviously we've blown those seals on the cylinder. So it's like 4.1% damage, which is, you know, what can you do? Yeah, I'm not going to clear those yet. We'll clear them at some point. And then we've got obviously the DH4. Now, just that short run cost us a lot. And the main thing there is diesel. She is heavy on diesel. Not as heavy. I don't think she's as heavy as the DE6. But she is heavy. Anyway, let's see what's coming out of here. So, there's a run to harbour, which we're not going. There's a shunting job there, which doesn't pay very well. It's freight haul to steel mill. That could be worth it on our way to Machine Factory, I guess. And then 2 food factory runs, which I'm not going to be going up there from here. So, I guess potentially coming out of here, we could go up to steel mill and then onto Machine Factory. That's an option. Could also see what's going out of steel mill when we get there, and just continue. So basically, once we order there, there's no rush to get there. You know, we can do it in our own time. But I just think if we're going to take any job out of here, I think this one could be, the most lucrative. We could even load and prepare that one and take the whole lot. Although the DH4, I'd say, probably this weight is probably about the limit, maybe. I can't remember what the DH4 is like for weight, actually. Let's have a quick look. This is the last thing we'll do. So let's have a look. Have I gone past the DH4? Let's have a look. There we go. DH4, so let's err on the side of caution. And so it's 2,000 flats. No. So basically perfect conditions. 2% incline, 600 tons, and then 2% incline with poor weather, 500. So yeah, it's worth looking at. I'll probably stick to about that 500 limit, just to err on the side of caution. But aside from that, guys, it's coming up at 9 o'clock at night. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please do hit the like button, hit the subscription button if you want to see more videos like this. Hit the notification bell to be notified of up-and-coming videos. Hit me up in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. But otherwise, guys, please do take care of yourselves. And I'll catch you guys again soon.